If people only knew the power of like your environment, I mean, I really, really teach a lot about environment being stronger than say like willpower and an environment being part of your identity shift, that they actually believe that that will fast track you more than anything. That if you can just get in the room with other people, it doesn't matter how great, like I'm a really disciplined person. I have all the habits, but the belief that you get by being around other people that are having success. And I saw it with my cancer. Like you've got to find proof out there that it's being done, and your brain will suddenly just like guide you. And it's where like a lot of this manifestation, you've got to have some proof in your brain there to see that this can happen.
Welcome back to Fast Foundations, the podcast. It's your girl, Jess Bergio, with another amazing guest for you guys today. I'm so excited because Amy Ledin was in the very first round of Fast Foundations, the Mastermind, with me, and she's gone on to do some amazing things. But before she joined Fast Foundations, she was already running a 7-figure business and creating tons of momentum in her industry. So Amy, welcome to the show. We're so excited to talk to you today.
Hey there. Thank you for having me on. I'm actually so excited because I always want to like share something that I absolutely loved it as a part of my life. So anytime, whether it's been Chris and Lori, anyone that's been related to Fast Foundations, I'm like, have me on, please, because I do want to share everything that I gained from it.
I know, it was such a magical time. And can you tell us, like, where were you at in your business? Because you've already been doing so much. So walk us through what business was like long before you discovered this mastermind.
Yeah. So, I was really fortunate that we were early adopters. And I say we, me and my husband have a brand together, Lean Bodies Consulting. And we've been around for 17 years. So most of our audience has been from like the forum days to then now Facebook. And we were in Chris and Lori's Elite Mastermind, where you have to be making, I think, above like 500,000. And, we got right into that. I've always seen the power of being in anything where you have like-minded people. But we realized that we made a lot of money at a hobby. And by hobby, meaning we didn't have the systems, we didn't have anything in place. And so while we were in that and we've been well established, I'm so glad that I was able to set my ego aside and be like, what is this Fast Foundations? Now, I originally signed up for it because I was pivoting. Like we have our Lean Bodies Consulting, but I was building my own brand. I had a podcast and I was working on mindset. I'm like, maybe if I go to Fast Foundations, it will help me really like set my avatar and like all of these things that I really just didn't have clarity on. But what I learned through it all was it ended up benefiting both of the businesses. Like it helped me pivot and helped me really like see what other people were doing. And that really just built my confidence because these were a lot of startup people. But then it also, as I went through all of the things that they were teaching, I'm like, we're not even doing this now and we don't have this offer now. And so it helped us build the systems in an existing business. And then it really helped me just more than anything. I mean, yes, I need the systems, but it was like meeting the like-minded people. You can't get that in like a course you just take online. Like it has to be the in-person. I mean, I have lifelong friends now, from this. So that's kind of what it's taken me through, since being in Fast Foundations.
Yeah, I know. And that's one of those things that people sometimes think, oh, I already have a successful business, quote unquote, either by the numbers or by, say, they have a membership base of something like you do with like all of the consulting stuff or the gym or the workouts or, but there's always, if you built in a time where there wasn't really a lot of like online stuff like there is now, you did a lot of it by yourself. And you, like you said, it was like a hobby that just happened to make really good money. And when you can pull the ego aside, like you did, like you just said, that was so beautifully said, and get into community and see, well, how is she successful or what is she doing or what are they doing that I could be implementing in my business? Not only do you give yourself that opportunity to 10x what you're already doing, you might make it even easier for yourself than what you were doing currently. I think that was key for a lot of people who came in there thinking they were just going to easily scale and grow. They were like, whoa, wait a minute. Like if I implement some of these like base like automations and like systemize some things and get a little bit more of a formula together, like I actually don't have to work nearly as much as I have been.
Totally. It taught me so much about that. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, even if I got one new app to use, I know that sounds so simple, but in a world where the internet is just, it's too much information. Okay. You go to the app store, it's too much information. I take everything based on referral. If someone has a new video editing app, that was worth my fee to go to certain things. Like I just got back from a product event that I was there for 2 days. I walked away with two things. I knew already the game. Like you're going in to meet connections. Like sure, I'll learn some things, but if I walk away with one thing and a new connection, it's been worth it. So that was the same with Fast Foundations, just getting in the small groups. And when we started to do like the problem, solving for each other, like I got so many good apps, good resources, good connections that saved me hours of time doing my own research.
Yeah. And you touched on something even more important in this entrepreneurial space, friendships. The very first episode, I think it was episode 1 or 2, Jim RT and I sat down to talk about why we got into Fast Foundations. And I literally at the time did not have an online business to scale. I was in my brick and mortar doing hair, slanging all that, doing those things. But I knew that I needed to be around other like-minded people to like have conversations to pour into because I don't like to do things alone. It gets lonely.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship, it can be difficult, but it doesn't have to be because there are other people in communities like this that you, like you said, have walked away with such best friends. And we all, literally everybody that I've ever interviewed or had conversations with has walked away with at least 1 to 5 to, good friends, but then also like a plethora of people they can reach out to at any given time that have different insights on how they help each other. And that's literally everything to me.
It is. If people only knew the power of like your environment. I mean, I really, really teach a lot about environment being stronger than say like willpower and an environment being part of your identity shift, that they actually believe that will fast track you more than anything. That if you can just get in the room with other people, it doesn't matter how great, like I'm a really disciplined person. I have all the habits. But the belief that you get by being around other people that are having success, and I saw it with my cancer, like you've got to find proof out there that it's being done and your brain will suddenly just like guide you. And it's where like a lot of this manifestation, you've got to have some proof in your brain there to see that this can happen. And so that alone, like I truly believe that you should always be in a mastermind. That's just my opinion because anytime, and it was funny, Eric and I were just talking about this the other day. This is like our first year that we've moved one house and a second house from Canada. So we didn't do it. And we actually think it was our biggest mistake because I find that temperature, that identity temperature has come down a little bit. I mean, I do fortunately still speak with Leslie Logan that was in first year Fast Foundations. We talk every other Saturday. We really keep it like we're friends, but it is a business call where the first 30 minutes I discuss my problems and things and her 30 minutes. And then we like help each other have some accountability and then get off the phone. But if I didn't have that, I would be really, really lonely in this world. Like she pushes me, she drives me. I see what she's working on and I, do the same because it's really easy to not shift your business forward by just managing the day-to-day tasks. And if you do have, say, like a Fast Foundations or a mastermind you're a part of, like just knowing you have to meet, like I know in the Elite Mastermind, Chris would make us, at the beginning, we had to say what our goal was and whether we were going to like give ourselves a reward or a punishment. So I'd say like, okay, by the next time we meet in 3 months, I have to have my podcast launch. If I do not meet that goal, I have to sell one of my purses was one of mine that I had to sell, and some other person might be, if I make my goal, like I do better with punishment, but like we had to learn that. But had we not had that, you better believe knowing I had to stand up in front of everybody, like I'll be the first to say, people think I'm like this strong person. No. I am weak as shit. I just have accountability in every single area of my life. I mean, I post on my story saying, I'm doing this week. This is for me, guys. I'm sharing this because I need to be accountable. And so I just think everyone should always, I think it's why people repeated Fast Foundations because you know what? I've already got the information, but I need these people around me, period.
Well, and even though you know the information, like you said, we're so inundated with information. Sometimes you learn so many new things, you forget the things you learned in the beginning, and then you're not implementing those original things that you knew were going to help change your business or your life or whatever. And so having those people hold you account, hey, remember? And were you in when Kaylee Kraft said she was going to sell her G-Wagon if she didn't do X, Y, Z or whatever it was? I was like, oh shit, like that's the like putting your money where
put it on the line. Like, do you believe in yourself or not? You know what I mean? That's what really made me, stop with like the goals that you're really not even like, you're not even thinking about them. Like you're just saying it all the time, just never putting the action. And it was great,
So funny that you and I are talking at this very moment because I just had Leslie on the last recording that I did, And
Well, that's
she
amazing.
was like already pushing me and holding me. She's like, let's get on the call. You got to talk to Brad about your podcast. We're going to help you. Da, 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 da. I'm like, this is what I need too. Because you're right. Like, even just hearing you say what you did, I get so stuck in the day-to-day shit that needs to get done that for me, if I'm not if I'm not part of something and I'm not continuously having to show up for the call or the meetup or I said I was going to do this by this certain date, you start to take your foot off the gas. And that's when
Yes.
the slow way down and no one's really paying attention to you. So no one really cares but you. And like you said, you get on, do your stories. I'm talking to myself when I get on there too. Same thing. That's why I think people listen to podcasts because they don't always have that community to lean into. So I want to talk about your podcast
Totally.
because your podcast, you guys, just if you know me at all, you know why I love the name of your podcast. I'm gonna let you know your podcast because I'm like I couldn't love you more. So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Well, my podcast is called F It. And I did this on purpose. You know, I grew up in a really pretty strict Mormon home. So it was a play on words, but it was also a little bit of a dig to the judgments I used to make on people that cussed. Like my old self, like could not get past that because I was just in this really deeply religious, upbringing that you could not be like a Christian if you swore. And then I met Christina LaCure from Fast Foundations and blew my stack because I'm like, this girl like is sold out for Jesus and says fuck. Like, what the hell? My brain was, I met her. I go, you were triggering me so much. And we ended up like having, because I'm all about working through like my own stuff. But
Sure.
EFIT is, it stands for faith, forgiveness, family, food, fitness, and formula. I wanted it to be about everything. I've had a really colorful past. I had a marriage ending affair that was very public. Let's just start. I got pregnant in high school. So I had a teenage pregnancy placed for adoption, had to deal with all the unworthiness, all of that, getting older, got married, had an affair because I still hadn't dealt with my own shit and still looking for other people to give me the approval. Then I got diagnosed with stage 4 non-small cell lung cancer, which has a less than 1% 5-year survival. So I kind of was like, I need to do a podcast because I have a ton of different areas in my life that I feel like, yes, I'm still always working at them, but I've really overcome, a lot. And that used to be a hard thing for me to even celebrate until, again, you get around people that really believe in themselves and they really, like, it's not silly to like believe in yourself and be proud of yourself. And I think, it's when people don't feel good about themselves that they have to bring you down. And when I started to be aligned with people that like, I'm cheering them on just as much as they're cheering down, I realized I did have, a lot to add. And so I started my podcast. I think I have like 175 episodes now. I do a lot of short ones. I do interviews still because I love that to have people on. But my big jam is short, what I call software updates, because a lot of us need the touch point of more than just like once a week. It's like going to church, like people that just go on Sunday, like you got to live it too during the week, right? Like you can't just have, like go, okay, I'm going to be good to my neighbor and then leave the parking lot and road rage someone. Like, come on now. So it's the same with mindset. You need the constant, reminder that, you can do this and and just setting aside those, or obstacles. So I love it. It's like my one fun place because it's, outside of the business and I put no pressure other than I got to show up twice a week for it, and I will add back to Fast Foundations when you were talking earlier, this is super important. I think people that have a side hustle, this is like the must. Because here's the thing, if you are stuck in your business, and I think of you too, because you were like me, where we're putting so much into our main business, which for me was Lean Bodies Consulting, because it's where the money's being made. It is very hard for people to pivot because you've got to put some extra time when you're already an entrepreneur in your original business. So my advice is join it because even the few days that you're there, like when I'd get back to my hotel room, I would work on my stuff because then when I went home, I actually had a lot accomplished that would have taken me months on end to do, and then second to that, it was getting a few referrals, like through the actual program that I ended up hiring brand builders that helped me really launch even quicker. Like, so you get all these little things, but I did think of the person listening that's like, well, I don't have a business yet. You need to do it. This was like, because I made it a point to, I did not take money from LBC to do this. I wanted to see if I would on the side, take that money, invest it into doing Fast Foundation. So it was like a little bit scary to put the money out because I'm like, I have to hope I get this back, So I took like a little loan from our primary business so I could really see on the other side of this. I launched my DAC course, I launched all the things that I said I was going to do and made that money back.
Hey, it's RT. Thanks so much for listening to the Fast Foundations podcast. I want to see you in the room. I don't want you to just be hearing my and our voices. Let me tell you about the Fast Foundations Mastermind. It's a 6-month-long program, and it's our signature program. It's how you join our community. Every time we talk about this amazing community of almost 400 people that have gone through our mastermind, that we have here on the podcast, that we hear from, and our mentors, all that kind of stuff, all the guest speakers, the coaches, all the awesome things that we get to do, it all starts with the mastermind. It's a 6-month-long program with two-day in-person events. One's in Scottsdale, one's in Denver. Yes, they're in amazing, beautiful places. We have them in cool spots because that's fun. We also give you 6 months with a coach, one-on-one. And the most important thing is once you go through that mastermind and you learn from all these amazing speakers that we bring in, learn from your coach, grow with me and Jim and the rest of our team, you get lifetime access to our community. Every single thing that we do is recorded and uploaded into a private platform off of Facebook, off of the social medias, all that kind of crap. And it's saved in one place that you have, again, lifetime access to. So when you join the Fast Foundations Mastermind, which you can learn more about at fastfoundations.com and click on Join the Community to apply, when you join this mastermind, you're in our community for life. I really hope to see you in the room, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, that's so funny. I did the exact same thing, and you're not the first person to say that. Like, I told myself I couldn't pay that back until I did it with that business. And similar, I didn't have an online business to scale, which was kind of a base requirement of Fast Foundations, was supposed to be an online business that you were looking to scale. But I knew that I needed to shift into that and give myself the opportunity. And same thing, every time we get into in person, it was the ideas that I had that were so small that I just barely wanted to whisper, that someone was like, that's a great fucking idea. Here's also how I can help you. And I know someone else who could help you. And so it's just that like spiral of help that you get rather than like a downward spiral of, oh, everyone's already done this. I can't do it too. The market's too saturated. Like you and I jumped into podcasting. I didn't even know there's only a 20% span of like women doing podcasts. So it's like,
wow,
a niche for women to get out there and share their message and talk about things that are important to them. So, without all that, who's to say you'd even have started the podcast and
I wouldn't have.
Right. Say me neither.
1000%.
Yep. I know. It's so wild to think like what one decision can make, and you mentioned Christina LaCour. She's my favorite of like, just decide, make a fucking decision.
Exactly. Do it.
Do it. And that's one of those things that like you literally like are somebody that I admire so much, because no matter what, like you find ways to be resilient. It's not just like, oh, I am resilient. Oh, I am strong. No, bitch. Like I have had to figure out ways to find the support to get the strength to continue to do the things. And, not thinking that you have to do everything on your own. That's just not the way we're meant to do things.
No, we did that for years and years and years. And Eric and I are like, it is collaboration over competition. I don't even care if you have the exact same business. I mean, macros with Emma, Emma Montgomery, like her and I have our LBC is pretty similar. We have helped each other over, when she first was getting ready to go online, I'm like, I will give you everything. You want me to send you whatever, and vice versa. And it doesn't matter. I've had people in the same industry on my podcast and plug their product because I have an abundance thinking that, listen, if you don't vibe with me, I definitely want you to vibe with someone else as a coach, because coaching is super individual, that I want you to like me or like them. And I'm going to offer you people that I feel are right there, core values aligned. And that was like with Chris. I knew coming into his podcast, because we'd been in Andy and, we were in Andy Frizella's RTA. We paid $100,000 to be in that mastermind that year. Then we were also in the elite mastermind. But the reason why I liked Chris so much is he attracts the values that I have, the core values. He is very abundant thinking. He is very generous with his, offering you his time. It was just like, and it was crazy is, guess what? Everyone that ends up joining those circles, they have the same. That's what attracted them to begin with. So listening to him on his own podcast is what made me even sign up like for Fast Foundations. And I'm like, I like everything that he stands for. I don't even know if I need this product necessarily, but I need to get in this guy's circle. And then from, it was like from there I wanted to do everything around them. So you definitely start to then attract those same people as well, because now you're living this new aligned core values. And so you start to get the connections that you never would have had. I mean, I've had so many blessings from being in Masterminds. When I had Ed Milet on my podcast, that would have never happened. My own personal mentor is John Maxwell now. And that's all because I shared on my podcast that my dream would be to like meet him. From there, someone reached out. I met him he had me come for lunch. From there, he said, I want to be your mentor for free. Like, I want to help you. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, he calls me. Like, it's in, like, pinch me. This would have never happened without collaboration. Because if you never share your dreams, then they're never really going to exist. And so if you're not like, this is where that mastermind helps, because everyone sits around. Like, I even stayed in a hotel with the girls, something I would have never done. And now I always tell people, do it. Go all in on something, because you will totally get uncomfortable. And that is when I find we're the most creative,
Yes. And it unlocks things that you have been keeping inside that you have wanted to share for years, but you don't have anybody to share those dreams and goals with, because, either someone will say, oh, that's you can never do that. Or why would you want to do something like that? Or you're already like, they're in these sorts of spaces, people are just like, yeah, girl, let's go. Let me help you. How can I help you? Or maybe it's not even a dream. Let's dream bigger and do bigger, badder things. And like,
totally.
It literally like gives me chills every time I get to have these kind of conversations, because it just reminds me of the power of community and being around people who not only are like-minded, because a lot of us were so different, so different, like came from all walks of life, had different things going on, different businesses, different experiences. But those are the things that, like, I've never talked to this type of person about this. What's their perspective? And how can I take that perspective back to my business and totally bring something fresh and new that no one's talked about because they haven't gone outside the box? So yeah, I think, doing these episodes, we just pour into why masterminds are so important, but also podcasting. I love the avenue of podcasting because it's something that you own. So like, I'm deep into the podcasting stuff right now too. I'm creating a course for foundational people who have half the ideas for the podcast, but they all it is maybe like a smidge of an idea, or they think they want to start one. So it's a 4-week course from like idea to launch in 4 weeks. And I got this from Keisha Fitzgerald. She's been running the course for a while, and she's kind of passing the torch to me. And I would have never had access to Keisha if I hadn't joined the mastermind either. And the fact that, like, you put some skin in the game, people take you more seriously, right?
Oh my gosh, 100%. It's kind of like, I did a podcast episode with Christina, like right at the beginning. It was like why I paid for my friends. And it kind of triggered a lot of people, but I really wanted to explain that, listen, I knew that they're invested just as much, even to friendships, because I know that they're more personally developed. I mean, if you're going to something like a mastermind, you're already someone that's probably reading some personal development books. You're trying to become a better person, and that does relay over into friendships. So when I would look around, I'm like, all of these people spend a lot of money, to come into circles. Like, I really appreciated that. And I already knew there was like a level of trust and just openness right off the bat, because I knew that it wasn't like they were trying to get some business out of me or try to, sell something or vice versa. Instead, it was like, let's all help. If things apply to each other and you want to, do some business, sure, that's fine. But for me, like, I ended up hiring a few people within the FAST Foundations, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
I know, same. And I still continue to watch that happen as each round goes. And getting to see it pass off from Chris and Lori, the things that they create along with Nick, and now RT and Jim kind of taking it and running in a different direction. Like, that is the power of like getting in those rooms, and people do take you more seriously when you show up. It's like, it's just something that you have to experience. And I'm sure if anyone's dabbled in like a course or a program where it's been in community like that, you see that you kind of look at each other differently, because you're like,
yes,
you just have that commonality, that bond already before you even say 2 words to the person. You're like, okay, we're somewhat similar, even if we're completely different.
Yes. And back to your podcasting, the thing, if you're not podcasting now and you're thinking about it, this is the time, because I will say, you have so much intimate space with your guest because you're in their ears. So they're dialed in. I mean, I listen to podcasts all the time, but I have been, 2 times now it's happened. One time in like a local place here. So I kind of, I was like, okay, I chalked it up as like, maybe I just have local followers that follow the podcast, because she saw me in Target and was like, I know you. And the thing is, they know everything about you. But what was really crazy was just a couple weeks ago, I was in Orlando at like the outlet malls. We were just leaving the outlet mall, and this lady comes up and she's like, I listened to your podcast. I know you. And she's like, she was from Prince Edward Island, Canada, like vacationing. So the fact that we even crossed paths, but I felt so amazing. But what I loved was I knew that if she was a listener, she knew everything about me. Like she'd been listening. She knows all about, and no wonder you just feel this bond. I mean, the people that I listen to Shailene Johnson. I'm even part of her. Like she has like what's called the vault. I pay every month to listen to her private ones. But it's because of the years that I followed her and that intimate connection. Like I was glad to pay because I felt like she's my friend, and that is, I think, the power of podcasting is I really respect and appreciate my audience because I know that they are not distracted by scrolling while they're kind of, they are literally dialed in your ears, and there is no better power than that. So, and it's not too late to start. I mean, I'm so grateful that I started in 2020, but it is just now. I mean, I meet people every single day that have still never listened to a podcast. So if that doesn't tell you something, I remember thinking, oh, it's too late for YouTube. It's still not too late. Like, meaning it's never too late. You're going to find the right audience that will listen to you.
And the cool thing about podcasting is you own that RSS feed. Like that's your thing.
Yes.
It's not like Instagram. It's not like social. So if you're brand new to growing your business, if you're a brand new entrepreneur, even I think you don't have that much to talk about, trust me, you are at least 1 to 2 to 10 steps ahead of someone who's still just thinking about it. So podcasting is a great way to grow community and for people to get to know you. And like she said, like I've collabed with everybody on my Beauty Inspires Beauty podcast is in the beauty industry, is like a what you would call competition in the coaching space or whatever. But why, again, it's like if I can do a good haircut and the girl next to me can do a good haircut, I can still show her my tricks of the trade. Whoever she resonates with it's the same thing at podcasting. But the cool thing is like people can listen to all the podcasts. It's not just only good. So yes, if you have something you want to share, talk about, or messaging, like interview style is such a great way to go like we're doing right now. But then once you get a little bit more confident, you'll want to start doing those solo episodes because you've got like direct information. You want to get to your people. But it's a fun, intimate way to get to create connection with people who they see you and they're just like, I know you. I know you. It's so magical.
It was really cool. I really, I've had my kids on. People feel like they know my family because I've interviewed my children. My 20-year-old now has been on a few times where we talk about like food shaming, and I've let her interview me. Like it feels like the people that are following you, they really get to know you and they watch you go through. I'm really open. I'm like, I'm struggling right now, and today I'm going to share on this, but it's because I went and read all this for me. I needed to remind myself of this, and and stuff like that. You do feel like that intimate connection.
Totally. So where are some places that you get your inspiration and drive and motivation from to keep you going on like the hard days where it's just like, I need a hit of something in order to just like get my mind right? Do you have any podcasts that you listen to or books or people that you reach out to that we could have access to listening that we could also get that same hit from?
A lot of the same, first and foremost, so my faith and having God, like I feel like I have a connection every day that, I don't need any other love or approval from anyone else's because I have his. And that's just really helped me as I've kind of detached myself from foundational religion to like just having my own beliefs. And that was really, really hard for me. And it just really has helped through my cancer. But additionally to that, I love like Ed Milet. Like I tend to be attracted more to the male coach. So most of the people in my podcast realm are men. I don't know what that is. Maybe there's some stuff I'm still working on through my childhood, but I just tend to do better with male coaches that are kind of the no nonsense. I still listen to Andy Frisella's, but back when he was doing the MFCEO, I tell everyone, go back to like episode 1 and go through those because he's just, hard charging. But then I listen to the holistic psychologist. I would say she's my biggest source because I believe that, unless you're really healing yourself and working on yourself, Nicole LaPera gives so much free information. She's unbelievable. I was really blessed to actually work with her one-to-one coaching, like before she like exploded. So I will listen to anything of hers because I've realized my biggest probably slingshot into success has been when I worked on me. I don't sabotage as nearly as much anymore. I'll still sabotage, but I'm getting back up that same day. And that's just been really healing like my inner child and working on like my mother wound and my father wound. And those all actually take action. It can't just be like lip service therapy. So I would say Nicole's a great one for anyone, and then I listen to Chris and I listen to Lori, you know.
Yeah, so many good ones. I know. I recently found Nicole like just probably a year or so ago off of her funny ones where she's like the two people in the she's
Is
good.
it not mind blowing?
She's so good, and sometimes I watch it and I feel so triggered, and I'm like, I gotta watch this again, like because she's so good.
I am triggered. Yeah. I'm always like, I tagged my daughter like one the other day where it's like, are you not ever? I do everything around here. I work, I cook, I clean, and I text her and I tagged her and I said, this has been me. Like, I'm not even talking 10 years ago. Like, I am sorry. And it's funny because Nicole will message me and she's like, but you know what? You're doing the best you can. And by being aware, like your children really will forget, they will learn to, but it's been a huge, she's a great one to go listen to. I mean, yeah, she's triggering because I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'm an immature parent. Like I read both the books, like she tells you to read how to deal with emotional immature parents. I first read that one. I'm like, deal with? I mean, how am I an emotionally immature parent? Like, then I read the other one, which was like how to, not be that way. And I'm like, it's been great, and again, those all help us in business too. Because the less that we are, because even the word triggered triggers me. So I now use emotionally activated. Anytime I'm emotionally activated, I then know that this says so much more about me and I need to dive into it because it's going to affect me in business. Like I want to be an even keel, like things do not, phase me because I know who I am. I'm really clear on my identity. In a world right now where they're really trying to confuse everyone and make you not even know who you are, that's exactly their goal, so it's again why you want to work on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is personal development in your day-to-day? 11?
11.
Yeah. Yeah. I swear. And that's why, like, it's funny because a lot of times, like, I do the money, the MLM money for my beauty business, and people want to like give, MLM such a hard time. And I'm like, not here to plug or not plug. I'm like, it's just a way that works for me and my business. And I'm like, yeah, anybody who doesn't quite understand the basis of what MLMs are, I'm like, if you have ever wanted to dive into personal development on like a core level for a business, join an MLM for 6 months, ingest all the personal development, do the business or don't, but like be a part of all of the free resources that they give you to help grow you as a human. Like,
because they see the power in that. They know it's like any company, I make, our own coaches that work for us, like when we have our meetings, it is so little about the day-to-day business. It is all about that. I am trying to build you up to become your best self and believe in yourself and have a vision and be clear on it. Because if you're not clear, we're not going anywhere together. Like I just will see you not grow. And so if people only knew, that's like business 101. And I used to not do that. It's like, what can they do for us? I mean, we're getting them a job. Like that was us like 15 years ago. Now it's like, what can I do for them? How can I make them just a better human, not a better coach necessarily, but better you? Because we're so quick to put I used to put business goals down all the time. And that was always my high priority. The moment I shifted and made personal first, me better, when I'm in my best shape, I'm actually doing the best in sales. It's just hands down. You know why? I feel better about myself. It is not about my physique. It's that, sucky for me, but when I've closed my eyes and I've had that alignment, my alignment shows me in pretty damn good shape. And so because it's not for everyone, that's why I say to people, hey, if when you close your eyes, you're a size 12 and that's where you want to be, then that means you're feeling your best. But we all know where it is for us personally. And so for me, when I am like aligned there, I'm unstoppable because I know I'm keeping my word here. I can keep it everywhere else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can reach levels of successes on paper that might make somebody think they make you feel good. But if you're not in alignment with the other stuff, that personal shit, no amount of accolades or success will feel like anything. And that's the thing I think that's most important in entrepreneurship, right? Because if you have a regular job and you go check the boxes and do the things, that might suffice for a while. But if you're on your own and you're building a business and you're not taking care of you, those goals are for nothing, because once you reach the next one, it's never going to feel like enough. You're going to want the next thing,
totally,
because you're not right.
Yeah.
So yeah, tuning into people that just light you up, that motivate you and inspire you rather than make you feel, Chris always talked about the negative propaganda and staying away from that. And you touched on the very beginning about your energy being such an important thing, and that being your environment, right, is such a trigger for so many people and why they have success or they don't. And so again, back to the mastermind being a place of a positive, healthy environment, What can people
Yes.
do? Let's say they can't access a mastermind right now. What if they don't have the wherewithal to do that? Like starting with podcasts, jumping into books or classes.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody who's like,
Perfect. I call it 15 for 50. It's commit 15 minutes a day following the 50 people that you want to be around. So I even have it a highlight on my IG stories. It's like, but it's so simple. Like, I don't even feel like I should share it. It's literally taking the index card, come up with maybe like your list of the 50 people, because we forget this world is distracting you. So I take the card out every day. I start from the top to bottom on day one. The day two, I'll go, because I'm not even going to get through all 50, because here's what you want to do. You want to go to their account. You want to like what they've been posting, engage with them, follow their stories, like be genuine. Don't be a douche and like just do this to check the boxes off. Like legit go and learn about these people. And then from there, I'll start from the bottom the next day. So every couple days, I'm really getting through that. One, you're going to be seeing what they're doing, and that's going to help you absorb some of their energy. And two, when you do finally get connected, because you will, because this is the way the world works, you're going to already have a way deeper, genuine connection that you just never know. Because I just know myself, like, I'm really not just going to become besties with just some stranger, but these people that have invested over time and really getting to know me and following me and stuff, then it's way easier, right? It's just like a much more natural connection. So that, it might be a business you're following. Like I usually it's like 25 to 30 of them are influencers, and the others are brands that I know would align with mine. So I can get some ideas, because it will then start ruminating. Your content will be better. And now your feed is all the things that you should be seeing. Like I just had to delete Twitter like last month because I was listening to too many politics and guess what my whole feed was? Negative shit. So I deleted it because I know myself better than when I wanted to check out. That's what I go see. Well, now I have no choice but to check in, because my entire algorithm is all self-development and fitness influencers and people that, are going to help me. So you got to use, like, social media can either, suck you in, or you can use it and to your advantage. Like, but you got to stick to it. Like, I got to take the card out. Like, it has to be. I'm very disciplined because I already know that they're spending billions of dollars to distract you every day on these platforms. If you think that your brain is going to be strong in the little random, I mean, I take out my little dice. I have those like timers, the cube timers. I set my cube timer out. I turn on the 15 minutes, because you also got to know when there's a timer involved, your brain will actually propel to be working. It feels like it's on the time. So I set that timer for 15 minutes, and when it's done, I'm done. Like I don't keep going. I get off that for that time. And it's really helped. I mean, I think it's why I ended up like getting connected with some of the people that I have over time. But it's a long game. Don't be doing it for the short game. Like you're looking, you can't afford to be in a mastermind. So you're going to do take their free courses, do all the things you can from the people that you want to be around.
Definitely. And create room for yourself to get in there, sometimes for free. Like I've gotten into $10,000 rooms by offering services like hair and makeup. Like who knew that would be a way that I'd be able to get into a room?
Yes.
I never knew that was an option or a possibility, and learning for the ask or to be in people's circle, but having that genuine connection because you've been following someone and engaging in their content and like supporting them from afar. I'm going to go back to this because I remember I used to do something like this a long time ago, and I haven't in a really long time. So if you take one thing from this episode today, you guys do
yes.
Of 50 people. So 15 minutes a day, go like, follow, engage with 50 people that you aspire to, learn from, be like. I love that you broke it down between like influencers and then brands that feel like that they resonate with what you want to do and who you want to associate with. So it's a great way to curate what you're seeing on your social media and stay away from all the other things that don't light you up and make you feel some type of way. So get rid of the negative ones and bring in the new positive ones. Oh my God, Amy, I love you so much. Thank you so much for just pouring into this group. And I know everyone's going to get so much out of this. You guys go listen and subscribe to the F It podcast, because I know you're going to get tons more juicy nuggets from this beautiful, amazing woman. Any last parting words for the Pam?
You've honestly just totally light me up today. I'm like, I just want to get off and go crush it. And I think that is, again, just the power of being engaged. It doesn't even have, it's like having these conversations just really excite you and remind you of what we're here to do, So one more, if you're listening and you're on the fence, like take the risk, invest in it, sign up for it. And, if you're thinking about doing a podcast, additionally, jump in. I knew nothing, absolutely nothing, and I managed to do it. So you can too.
Yes, and now there's resources out there. I have a free download. You can download a free resource I created if you want to start a podcast for free. So hopefully Fast Foundations don't mind me plugging the podcast course, because more of you guys need to get your message and stuff out into the world. And
Yes.
this is a fun way to do it. You're listening to ours. You're meeting Amy. You're connecting. Once you connect with her, she's going to introduce you to so many other amazing people. So, take this idea and run with it. We are always supporting you here at Fast Foundations, and sending you guys so much love. If you want to learn more about Fast Foundations, the Mastermind, you can go to fastfoundations.com. And you got two of the OGs sitting right here talking to you about how amazing it shifted our life and created such beautiful friendships for us to have conversations like this. So we will see you guys on the next episode of the podcast. Take care.